I went to Garfield High School in Seattle, and I think it was a really awesome school because we had a ton of really cool programs that a lot of other schools didn't have. Like I took 4 years of AP Latin at Garfield, and it was super awesome. I also played in 4 years of orchestra, and we had like a jazz band and a lot of art programs that I think were like really beneficial to the school as a whole. And like those kind of arts and like extra programs and language programs I thought were like really important. And I had some really good teachers as well. I think what was good is like when teachers had a little bit of freedom, they could kind of challenge students to work harder and like work with the teacher. Like the teacher's strengths kind of got to come out when they had more freedom to do what they wanted.
And one of the things that I think our school did really well was we had a lot of AP programs and a lot of students did Running Start at the local community college. So in that way, actually for a small school, it was doing pretty well. And I feel like that was pretty good motivation for people because you could get college credit and hopefully in the end, pay less in college because you're not spending time taking those classes.
My best teacher was Mr. Stores, and his approach was that he would have like a lesson plan where we have a lot of group activities. And one activity that I remember was we did a trial where we looked at the story Lady Macbeth and evaluated if she was guilty or not of killing people. So it was kind of interesting because it was this group environment where you got to work with a lot of people and just flesh out your ideas in a group environment. It brought about a lot of conversation that otherwise wouldn't have happened, and that was a lot of fun.
A lot of the intentions behind why we participated in the class activities that we did, they were really like premised on those, and they were made really explicit to us. I think that was a really big difference in like why students got a lot out of that.
One high school teacher that really benefited me in my learning was my math teacher. She was really friendly and she was really approachable, and I think that's really important for a teacher and student interaction, whereas the teacher needs to be friendly and be approachable so students feel comfortable asking for help. So that's just one thing that really helped me learn.
So we had a big chapter of almost 30 to 40 pages, and he comes to the class and he writes two sentences on the board, and he says the whole 40 pages of this chapter are in these two lines. So just memorize them, and I'll explain you through the whole chapter. So he had a very different technique of teaching us, and I still can remember the topics that he taught to us because they were so differently taught or put up in front of us, so that we could connect to them more easily and more better.
So one of my teachers, his name was Ed Harry, he wrote really clear notes that I really enjoyed. He went slow enough that I could follow right along.
His teaching style was more of like just free learning style, so we would just come to class and just talk about anything we wanted to talk about until we got to the any classwork we did. So he gave us that free time for kids to actually talk about what's going on in the world and what's happening it's important to them. And I think that was one of the best things that I've done in high school. Actually taught us to go out there and actually look for things that was interesting to us and share with the class rather than just coming and doing worksheets. And that was his way of teaching us, to learn on our own and to think, critically and stuff about what's going on around us.
I had a physics teacher who was really awesome, and I think one of the big things was that I could tell he liked being around us. That was really big. He liked talking to us, and even though he taught physics, he would bring up random stuff like from psychology and other random things, and so I think the big thing I could tell with him was that he really just liked to learn new things. And so whether it was physics or just totally random stuff that he just read an article about, he just liked to learn. And so I liked the physics part, but it was also just that he sort of modeled like learning your whole life. So, and he was really funny.